Yahoo! It is Boyd Brown. Okay, so it's time to be brave. It really has. It really is time to be brave. So, the last time I talked about my mental health, I think properly talked about my mental health was when I first got diagnosed with anxiety and I was 22. I'm almost 26 now, so that was like almost 4 years ago. And the last time I opened up about it, I was a bit of a mess, to be honest with you. And that's okay because it is okay not to be okay. But there is such a huge stigma on mental health, and it definitely isn't talked about enough, especially when I guess it is a disease, a mental health. Doesn't matter what mental health you suffer with, but it is a big topic. I mean, 1 in 4 people. Is it 1 or 5 people? But that's quite high, really, when you think about it. Like, if you look at your circle of friends, the way you would think about it is like at least one of us is struggling with the mental health. And when I first was diagnosed, I remember thinking, no, not me, not me, nah, I haven't got anxiety, me. No, I haven't got mental health. And then after I walked out the doctors, I went in my car and I had a breakdown because I didn't like the fact that I had a mental health. I thought I've got mental health, so I'm mental. I must be going crazy. I'm not right. And that is not the case. But I guess when you don't really know about a mental health, you can't really tell. You don't really know if once you diagnose that, are you mental? Because you're not, no, because it's normal. Like I say, it's like 1 in 5 or 1 in 4, and it's okay to have a mental health. It doesn't make you weak. It doesn't make you. It's hard to say because, but it doesn't define who you are. Like, my mental health is just a part of who I am. It doesn't define who I am. It's just a part. It's just a tiny little part. And sometimes that can control my life. Sometimes it doesn't. But the reason I didn't, the instant thought of like, oh, I've got anxiety, I must be going mental, is because it's not talked about enough. And I never learned about mental health in school or anything. And I think my school years are probably why I have a mental health, is one of the reasons why I have a mental health, because I hated school. It wasn't the lessons or the teachers, but it was I was bullied all the way from through school, from nursery to like leaving school, especially in senior school. I was badly bullied, like really, really badly bullied, until like to this day. I'm almost 26 and I still have flashbacks from back then, and I still call myself the names and say the horrible things that they said to me now. And it's got to a point where I know I try to promote happiness and positivity and body and positivity and self love, but I struggle really bad with my self image and the way I look, my size. I really struggle with that, and I'm gonna be honest. And it's time for me to be honest, because there needs to be more people out there to be more honest and open about mental health. and the way they perceive themselves and their ideas and opinions on themselves. So I've always struggled with my size from being younger. And I've realised the more emotional I get, the more I eat. If my mental well-being isn't where it's supposed to be at, I eat more, and I get another like noticeable sign I get where I'm like, right, Shannon, you're not okay. It doesn't necessarily mean that I'm in a corner rocking and I've got anxiety or I've got depression, so I'm crying all the time. But I know that my mental well-being is not where it is by signs, and especially if I eat more, if I eat more sugar, if my room's not tidy, and I kind of like, now I'm in a hoodie, and it's alright to wear a hoodie when you're chilling, but me personally, I like to make an effort with like the way I dress, and when you go back to videos I did before I was diagnosed, I was always in a hoodie and I was always had my, like, that was when I didn't know that I wasn't right, and I didn't really care about my appearance because I thought, well, I don't like my appearance, so why would I bother making an effort? And I'm sitting there in a hoodie and joggers with my hair down, and I'm thinking, am I okay? And then I look at my bed. It's not done. My bed's always done. I'm looking at my fish tank. It needs cleaning. I'm looking at my room, and it's a mess. I'm looking at my eating habits, and I haven't been eating good. And I've put on weight, and it makes us realise that I am struggling, and it's okay to realise that, and it's okay to struggle, and it's okay not to be okay. But I thought I'd take you on a journey to try to not pick my life back up, but to kind of like put my mental well-being to rights, And like I say, there's such a huge stigma, and I just want people to know that it's okay not to be okay, and it's okay if you're struggling, but please don't feel as if you're alone. And I know that when you've got a mental health, and I've got anxiety diagnosed at 22, at 24 I was diagnosed with depression, and it's hard sometimes when you're in a crowded room. You feel alone, you feel different, you feel like an outcast. Just speak to someone. That is your mind saying you need help, you need to speak to someone. And I reached out to a friend, and I should have reached out to my mum, and I think I'm going to reach out to her, and now I'm getting emotional. But yes, I just need to get my mental well-being back on track. And I don't know why. There's not necessarily a reason of why my mental health isn't where it's at, the way it's supposed to be at, because I'm in a new job, which I love and adore, and surrounded by amazing people. I am also part of like this new project Cinderella and another project called Dark Blood, and it's acting, and that's what I love. So I'm doing the things that I love, but for some reason my mental well-being isn't where it's at, and I think it's because uh, when we were put in lockdown before, well, at Christmas time, I was off work for like almost 2 months, and I was like, right, I'm gonna eat healthily, I'm gonna learn all these new things, I'm gonna Bible study, and for some reason And it's not because I went back to work. I don't think it's that, because I loved and I felt as if I was so much happier when I went back to work. But for some reason, something's telling us that something's not right. And I don't know why it's happening. I don't know what's triggered it. But I know that at the moment I'm not okay. But I'm proud of myself because I realise that I'm not okay, and I realise now that I need to speak about it. I need to do something about it because it's only me that can do something about it. But going back to body image, I've really struggled with the way I look. And if you follow me on social media, and something I'm really proud of is that I've started uploading full body pics, and it's not something I would do. Sorry, mum wanted this. So yeah, I I know what to do, and I've got an idea of what I need to do. I know some things that are triggering my mental health, but I am really proud of uploading them images because it's a big step for me. I know it's like, oh, well, full images, full body shots. That is fine to some people, but for some reason that struggles a lot with their self image, that's a huge thing, and I am so proud of myself. And I remember a couple of months ago that someone gave me a compliment, sorry, and I was like, yeah, I know. And they were like, look at you, all confident. And I was like, I've worked so hard to get to this point that when I get a compliment, I appreciate it and I say thank you, and then I give a compliment back because I know that compliments, like sometimes when I got compliments in the past, I felt uncomfortable and I felt, no, I don't. But now I've learned and I've worked so hard on it that when someone gives me compliments, I'm like, yeah, thank you. And you look really pretty today too. Or you've got an amazing smile. Because I think when you can be anything, you can just be kind because you don't know what people are going through. You don't know what struggles people are facing at that time. So yeah. So my plan. Oh, another symptom I've noticed is that I'm very forgetful, and it's a weird symptom for that. And I think it's just because you're focusing on all the bad things that you can't remember things. Like it's happened a few times where I get asked to knock off the heating in the house. Now I totally forget, or sometimes I forget what I'm talking about and I lose track, or sometimes I'll go in the kitchen to get something and I'll forget, and it's a symptom, and it's a symptom of mental health because I'm not thinking clearly. So, anyways, my plan. I want to start a diet, and a proper diet. I need to exercise more. I need to exercise more. And I know people are probably sitting back and be like, there's nothing wrong with you, you don't need a diet. And I appreciate that. But I think to get a healthy mental well being, I need a physical healthy well being too. So I'm going on a diet. I'm gonna like detox my system the next few days and then go on like a proper diet. I'm gonna introduce exercise. I'm not gonna like push myself too hard. I'm gonna ease my way into it. I'm gonna start eating healthily. And another thing is like apparently yoga is really good, and I was speaking to one of the girls at work and she was like, I've done yoga and it helps my mental health really well, and that it feels as if you're not really working out but then it has a toll on you as well. So I kind of want to get into yoga and walking more, but I also want to get into meditation. And I know it sounds weird. Well, it's not weird, but it might sound weird to other people. But I just think just being in total peace and quiet and just be able to regain your thoughts and feelings and emotions and just sit there in the present time instead of worrying about what happened in the past, what's going to happen tomorrow, what's happening in the next hour. Just focus on you for, even if it was 10 minutes or if it's half an hour or an hour. That's what I want to do. And I also want to take a time out my day where I come from social media. Because thinking of some of the triggers, I think social media is a big trigger. One of the social media platforms I've come off is dating apps. And I don't know why I'm on dating apps, because I'm not really bothered about being in a relationship. But I was on them, and a lot of the time it had a negative effect on me because I was getting like abuse thrown at us, or I would start getting feelings for people and then they would block me, and it has a massive effect on you, on your mental well-being. So I came off it and I was like, I'm not bothered if I'm not in a relationship. If the time comes and the right person comes along, and then that's great. It's all about waiting for the right person. So I come off that. But I think when you're on Facebook or Instagram and you're comparing yourself to others, especially like what is said in the media, like for example, I was on Facebook and they were comparing Kendall Jenner, Kendall Jenner, who was like a model and who was very slim, and she was in a bikini, and then there was a shot of a girl who was 19, I've forgotten her name, but she was the first youngest person to qualify to be an astronaut, and she's going to have a trip to Mars. And they were comparing these two girls together, like, oh, Kendall Jenner has the perfect ideal woman's body. And then I'm sitting there and I was like, well, am I supposed to look like that? I must know that I'm not the only one. And I don't think it's just girls that compare themselves to other women. I think men do it too. And I'm so bad at that. Like, I'm be like, I wish I could look like that. Or, why don't I look like that? And I should just be happy with who I am. And instead of what I'm not, you know? So I think if I take the time to just come off social media, even if it was like an hour a day, like, I'm a sucker for social media. I'm always on it. And I think even if it was just like, right, on morning, I'll not check my social media. On a night time, I'll put my phone away. Or have a certain time of day where I'm like, right, put your phone away and focus on something else. I want to do that because I feel as if the media is having such a huge impact on my mental well-being, and I think that's one of the worst things about social media. There is such a huge positive side of social media, like it keeps you connected to friends, family, new people. You get to learn new things because of social media, but there's a dark side because there's also like um internet trolls, people that throw abuse to other people's behind a phone screen, a computer screen, and that can hurt. You know, sometimes people's words can hurt, and also the media has a really bad of like pulling people apart as well, especially like magazines and that. And there's just such a dark side of social media, but there's also like positive sides. But the dark side is where, yes, you get internet trolls, more abuse, but there's a lot of the time it's comparing what young women should look like, what young women should dress like, and what you should be eating, what you shouldn't be doing, what you should be watching, what you shouldn't be watching, what you should be doing, what you should be doing this and that, and blah blah blah. And it shouldn't. You should just do what makes you happy. You should just feel confident in your own skin. and you shouldn't compare yourself to others because you were born to be uniquely you and to stand out. And that's something I forget, and that's something I have to keep reminding myself, and keep reminding myself that I am strong, and I am kind and caring and funny, and I am beautiful in my own unique way, so it's something I've got to keep reminding myself. Another thing I want to do is keep a diary, a journal each day, and put down what I'm feeling. And this is such a good planner. Today I am grateful for and stuff like that. And it's strong mind, grateful heart, and I got this from Home Bargains. And I love the colours, I love the message, I love the idea. It's like each day you'll put the date and then ask you a question and you've got to answer it, and it helps you with your mental well-being. So I love that. Another thing that I've been focusing on is my faith. My faith has always been strong, but I've been focusing on Bible studying and the Bible. But I got this, and it's a colouring in faith book. We call out the words of Jesus. So it's like Bible verses and quotes that you colour in. But I just think, because I like being creative, but I think this would be perfect for when I have that time of meditation, or I have that time of just absent from social media. I can sit, I can colour in, or I can sit and write in my diary, my journal, or whatever, and just focus on me and my emotions and what I'm going through. So yeah, I've been talking for 20 minutes now. I am sorry. So I just want, this is me now, this is how I'm feeling right now, and I want to show the difference of what I'll be like in a month's time, and just an update, and hopefully, fingers crossed, I'll be in a way better mental state, physical state, and just be more happier. So fingers crossed, I shall pray. But I think today I need to clean this room. That is my first task. I need to do that bloody fish tank and that bloody bed. Yeah. And then do this. But yes. This time next month, this book will be full of colour. No. We'll have colour to it, but yeah. Fingers crossed. I stay on track and I don't get sidetracked. So yes, I shall see you when I'm up there. Hello, you lovely lot. So it has been a month. It is May the 6th, and this is an update on my mental well-being. But let's just lower the camera a little. That's it. My hair is a frizz bomb today, if you can't tell. But that's I can't help it. But yeah, so visual wise, I don't particularly look that much better. But it is night time now, and it is Thursday, so my week is almost over. So I am tired. But yeah, my mental health is a lot better, I think. Since last month where I was kind of down, and I did most of the things I said I was gonna do to try to make it a lot better. I came off all dating apps because that was just depressing me. I don't spend a lot of time on social media anymore. I do send Snapchats now and then. I spend a lot of time on WhatsApp just because a lot of the show information is on there. And I do check Facebook and Instagram, but it's not
like a main part of my life, where I think it was like a big part of my life. Especially TikTok, my goodness, I would sit on there for hours. But well, I'm not going to say I don't use it because I do, but I don't spend that much time. I might watch a couple of clips. But yeah, like I've reduced my social media time like massively, like hugely. And I think that's made a good impact. So I think I made a good choice. Um, Worship wise, on my lunch breaks, I do listen to worship music. I know I said I've had the Colin book and I haven't completed a page yet because it took us longer than I thought. But I have been busy the past couple of weeks. So the first couple of weeks I was doing it and just sitting down for like an hour listening to worship music, colouring in. Um, but I just find I want more of me time. And my faith is always going to be important. I do feel as if it is a lot. It's taken more of a front seat because it has took not necessarily a back seat, but like a middle seat. And I feel as if I have to do more with it. So my like Bible study group, I'm still been doing that. If the first, because obviously we've been working on boots kind of thing, so it was like a program, and it was 8 weeks. So the 8 weeks are done. Now we're kind of focusing on something else. But yes, Bible reading, Girls Brigade. I've been keeping up with all of it. Um, So yeah, what else did I agree to do? Oh, diet wise, I've lost £6. It's not. I wanted to lose more. I wanted to lose at least a stone, but I'm on the way there. I'm on the way there. I've made a huge change with diet. Yes, I'm still having treats because I found like calorie counting and like cutting all bad stuff out my diet made things worse. It made us unhappy. So finding like the balance, it makes me happy. Like just having like either a smoothie or fruit salad for breakfast, and then having like salad for dinner. Then being able to have like little snacks through the day, not snack like I used to do, but like at work, I kind of like a morning snack. I kind of like a little snack before I go to bed. Not necessarily like crisps or chocolate or anything. But if I fancy something sweet, I have it because I'm not going to torture myself. But yeah, the first couple of weeks I was calorie counting and I just found myself like being focused on the calories and focusing on exercise when it wasn't making us happy. So finding the balance between exercise and still eating healthily, but not like starving myself or torturing myself to do exercise, or like put myself down if I decide to have a couple of biscuits, and that's not healthy. So, yeah, but I must be doing something right because I've lost weight and I found as if like my weight kind of like stays put. But I lost £6 or something. I must be doing something right. So yeah, I've got to lose the other half. But the stone, I kind of like the goal is to kind of lose at least 3 stone, maybe even just 2 stone by October because it's my cousin's wedding. I kind of want to look nice for it. So yeah, that's pretty much it. Oh yeah, the Strong Mind and Grateful Heart journal. I have been keeping up, so this is definitely one of the things I've kept up with. Um, Literally had entries every day, and one of the things I realised, like the first thing, like my entry was like huge, basically, but then it kind of like the beginning kind of like was just like pretty much empty. I've missed her gracious. Never mind. Glue them together. I have to remember not to look down because then I cut myself off. But yeah, like small entries, but then as like the weeks go on, my entries get bigger and I see more, which is good. So I'm not necessarily gonna share what I've put in that because I feel as if some things should be left private. But yeah, I mean, my mental health isn't perfect. For example, the other day I had like a huge anxiety attack at work for out of nowhere. I think it probably was because I was helping a friend with a music video the night before. I think I was probably tired and with the excitement I didn't really sleep well on the night. And that's not me blaming my friend or anything. That's just, it happens. Like once you're excited and you've done a lot, your body starts aching, but your mind's wide awake. So it could have been that, but I wasn't necessarily anxious about anything until it started coming on, and then I had something to be anxious about. And I still get my days where I'm like, just want to cry. But I've definitely seen a huge improvement with my mental health from where I was last month. And I'm pretty proud of myself from turning it around. And one thing I also noticed that I've written a lot of music, like a lot of lyrics, like a lot. Like obviously I used to write music, but I've written loads of songs. Like literally, I would write at least, well, the most at 3 songs a day. Like at least one a day. Like it's been like crazy, like flowing out. And I guess that's just me expressing my emotions instead of just bottling them in. But yeah, I'm proud of myself for realising that, right, I'm not okay, it's time to do something about it and take action. Realising what was triggering it, which was obviously um, diet and obviously social media, because ever since I took that back step, that I feel a lot more better. So yeah. So yeah. So I hope you've enjoyed this video. I hope it's been kind of interesting. And hopefully it might give you ideas on what to do or what you might think is triggering your mental health, or things what you can do. For example, it's as easy as taking a step back from social media or colouring in or doing things that you love, you know. So yeah, my hair, my goodness, I've been looking really nice this week as well, but today was the day I had to get the notification to be like, check on your mental health. How is it doing, mate? And I'm like, this. Yesterday, oh, you would have had a lovely lady, Shannon, but now you've got this. So, a frizz bomb. Look at that. Let's give myself some bangs. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, that's very sexy. Oh, very attractive. Don't be dumb. click the family gems and share with your friends. And I shall see you next time.